Hi, this is Mr. Eaton with video lesson for Year 9s, focusing on integer operations. Just a quick reminder to record some important information in the study notes section of your exercise book, and to stop the video when you need to make some notes, and also to complete some of the practice questions. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, what are integers? Well, integers are positive and negative whole numbers, okay? So they're not decimals. So for example, this is a list of integers. -2, -1, and 0 in this case is considered an integer. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Now there are some special rules for positive and negative numbers when we add them together. I'm just going to go through a couple of them with you now. So the first rule says a plus open brackets negative b close brackets is a minus b. So let's put that in as a proper example. So if we had 5 add -2, what would that equal? Well, the 5 stays the same. Alrighty, so we have 5. And now we've got to look at this rule. Add a negative number becomes a negative number. Therefore, it becomes -2. Alright? So 5 minus 2 gives me the whole number 3. Right, let's look at the second rule. So a minus, an open brackets, a minus number equals a plus b. So let's put that into a proper example. We have 5 minus -2 equals. Right, so we know that a is 5, so 5 stays the same. Now we've got to look at this rule over here. Minus a negative number becomes a positive. Alright, so we go plus 2. So 5 plus 2 gives me 7. Right, so now we'll look at some rules that involve multiplication. So a number multiplied by a negative number equals a negative answer. Alright, let's put that into a proper little example. So 3 multiplied by a -2 equals what? So the rule is quite simple. 3 multiplied by a negative number is going to give me a negative number. So what is 3 times 2? Well, 3 times 2 is 6, but it's a negative number, so it becomes -6. Alright, the next rule for multiplication is a negative number multiplied by another negative number gives us a positive number. So if I had -4 and I multiplied by that by -3, that is going to give me a negative multiplied by a negative, give me a positive. So 4 times 3 is 12, and it's a positive number. Alright, let's look at some special rules with regards to division. This says a positive number divided by a negative number equals a negative fraction, okay, because we know that divide is in fact fraction, something divided by something. Alright, here we go. Alright, so let's do 8 divided by -4 equals. So the first thing I know, it's going to be a negative, so I'm going to put my negative over there, and I'm going to say, what is 8 divided by 4? Okay, well, simplify that down. How many times does 4 go into 8? 4 goes into 8 twice, and my answer would be -2. Okay, so the next rule is a negative number divided by another negative number is actually going to give me a positive number. Remembering that that sign over there is a fraction. I know that looks like a fraction. That over there is the divide. So a number divided by another number. Okay, put that into a proper example. So we have -8 divided by -4. Alright, so the rule states that a negative divided by a negative is going to give me a positive. So I know it's positive. I'm just going to put a little plus there just to identify it. And it's going to be 8 divided by 4. Alright, so how many times does 4 go into 8? 4 goes into 8 twice. Therefore my answer is +2. Alright, now it's time to have a look at squares and cubes. Okay, how do we actually deal with those? Well, a squared is the same as a times a. So if I had 6 squared, that would be 6 times 6. And we know that 6 times 6 is 36. Alright. Now, sometimes students make the mistake of saying 6 squared equals 6 times 2. They see this 2 up here, and they reckon that that was what it must be. That is absolutely wrong, guys. Do not do that. Alright? This over here is the correct way to do it. Alright, and if we were doing a cubed, it would be a times a times a. So let's put that into an example. So what is 4 cubed? 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. So 4 4s are 16. By another 4 gives me 64. Alright, now while we're on the topic of squares, I just want to have a look at what are squared roots. Now the sign or the symbol for squared root is this. Okay, so what is the squared root of 36? Alright, so what number multiplied by itself is going to give me 36? Well, in this example, obviously it is 6. And what is the cubed root of 64? So what number multiplied by itself again, is going to give me the cubed root of 64. And obviously we've worked that out. So the answer there is going to be 4. Okay. Right, the next thing we're going to look at is lowest common multiple. Alright, lowest common multiple of two numbers is the smallest multiple shared by both numbers. Now what do I mean by that? Well, if I wanted you to find the lowest common multiple of, let's say, 6 and 9, this is what I would do. I would list all the multiples of 6 and all the multiples of 9. So some multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, and they go on. Some multiples of 9 are 9, obviously, 18, 27, 36, and they go on. So I need to find where my common multiple is, and I need to find the smallest one. So looking at these numbers over here, where is something that is similar? Well, I can find that 18 is similar, exactly the same. Therefore, the lowest common multiple of 6 and 9 is 18. Because it is the lowest common multiple in these two sets of numbers. There's nothing lower than 18. Right, let's look at highest common factor. So the highest common factor of two numbers is the largest factor shared by both numbers. Now we're going to the largest factor. What are factors? Well, factors are pairs of numbers that, when multiplied together, will give me the number I'm looking for. So for example, if I wanted to find the factors of 24, what two numbers multiplied together give me 24? Well, I would have 1 times 24, okay? I would also have 2 by 12. I'd also have 3 by... I'd also have 4 by 6, and I think that is all. So therefore the factors of 24 are 1, 24, 2, 12, 3, 8, 4, and 6. And I write those in ascending order. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. I then find the factors for 30, following the same rule as down here. So these are my factors of 30. I then need to look at what is the common number shared by these two numbers that is the largest factor. So having a look at these two numbers or sets of numbers over here, where is my largest factor? Well, they share 1, they share 2, they share 3, there's no 4 there, they share 6, and there's no other ones that they share. So therefore 6 is going to be my highest common factor. So the highest common factor for 24 and 30 is 6.